JBK. I am out and about, you know me, always trying to stay working, stay moving, you know. And I try to remind to you guys that, like, the worst thing that you could really do when they're attacking you with this radiation, you know, via, you know, energy vacuums, or it's weaponized scalar energy, or, you know, nanotechnology, infrared sensors, whatever the case may be. Just letting y'all know, y'all gotta keep moving, because what you gotta remember is what basically causes you most of the pain that you're going through is the excess. It's an excess of energy being stored into the body and into the cells and into the tissues. You know, when you look up radiation and how they try to measure radiation, it's called absorption. What is it called? Absorption rate by volume, or absorption by volume. You know, so it's like how much radiation will tissues absorb before the cells and the tissues of, you know, your skin or organs begin to, you know, become ill or cancerous, or, you know, anything of that sort. But anyway, where do I start? So, all right, for the most part, I've been doing all right. I mean, the attacks have, you know, I'd say they pretty much kind of been the same. They haven't done anything new. I continue to use my frequency generator faithfully, because I'm like, look, if God gave me, you know, or led me to the information needed so I could learn how to at least use technology to some degree, to help heal me, because I mean, you gotta remember, you know, they're basically using the same technology that can heal people to kill people. That's what they're doing, you know. And there's all kinds of evidence of these studies of everything that they're doing, you know, everything that they're doing to us. There's a flip side to the coin. There's some type of positive way. There's some type of positive way that the technology can be used. All that they did was weaponize it, and they're basically conducting a global eugenics. You know, this is a eugenics. You know, basically selectively killing who they choose they want to kill, and it doesn't even have anything to do with, you know, most of the time it doesn't have anything to do with criminal records, or it doesn't have anything to do with, you know, most of this stuff is unmerited, if anything, unmerited, unwarranted killings, and it's because, like, because it's a slow kill, a slow no-touch torture. You know, they believe, you know, they can get away with it. They feel justified because they'll say, oh, how can you prove that someone gave you cancer? And I'm like, well, do you have time to sit down and let me break down the evidence and show you, you know, through special, you know, cameras of how this radiation, or this energy, this electrical energy, is traveling through the air without losing charge? You know, how it takes basically the radiation given off from any device, or any electrical device or appliance that's giving off an electromagnetic field. They take the energy from that and they focus it into a beam, and they attack with precision different parts of the body and things of that sort. You know, so I went to church for a third straight week in a row. You know, And I almost kind of didn't want to go, mostly because, you know, quite honestly, I tend not to like going to church because, you know, it's so many eyes in church, you know, so many people in the church that don't seem like they're necessarily there to receive the Lord, but rather they're there to possibly, you know, selfishly get something out of the church or see if they can, you know, get a taste of some control or power, whatever the case may be, you know. But so I'm in the church, right? And this week I decided I was going to bring my Faraday bag. I brought my Faraday bag so I could put my phone in it, right? So I tried it where I left the phone on and I left my data on, right? But once you put the phone inside the Faraday bag, it's supposed to completely cut all signal to the phone, right? But here's the thing. Faraday bags do not stop all electromagnetic fields. It does not suppress all electromagnetic fields, or I guess depending on the materials the Faraday bag, I should say, is made of, it doesn't really stop it. What it does, it may reduce it. That, you know, I realize it may reduce it, but not by much. At least not my bag, you know. I wrapped it up, I put it inside the bag, folded it, rolled it up, put it on the floor in the church. And, you know, what happened? Well, as I'm sitting in the church with my phone inside of a Faraday bag, I'm feeling the heat build up from the floor, coming from the phone. I take my right hand and I just wave it over. Like, literally, I have my hand at least 2 to 3 feet above where my phone is at on the floor. And I feel the heat of the radiation coming up, and then it's going towards my body. So that in itself just lets you know that there's only but so many things that can basically cause the radiation of a phone inside of a Faraday bag to increase. Right? Now I'm praying to God. I'm asking God to continue to keep feeding me, keep showing me everything that I need to know to expose this, because at some point this is going to blow over. Well, not just blow over, but it's going to blow up. You know, eventually people are going to realize the devices around them are the things that are being used as transmitters to affect their mind, to affect their energy, to affect their health, to affect so many different things, you know. And it's sad that, like, it seems like, it always seemed like 90% of people know, it always seems like 90% of people know about this type of, you know, technology. They may not know how it works or even anywhere close to like how they do it, or what's happening, but they know, but they're all afraid to actually speak on it. And I'm just like, you know what? And my mom, she's like, you know, the pastor at this church, you know, he's a really good preacher. He's a really good pastor. You should just talk to him. I'm like, well, this is only my 3rd week coming here. I'm not going to completely unfold on him that, hey, you know, I'm being targeted by a secret society or occult society of, you know, techno-pagans. You know, I mean, if I use that term, you know, the pastor should know, you know, the pastor would know, like, you know, paganism is basically the use of, like, spells and, you know, kind of like witchcraft, which it is. It really is. You know, they try to make it seem like, oh, well, the handlers, they like to say, oh, it's not spiritual warfare, it's technological warfare, stupid. But I'm like, do you realize you are casting spells? Like, you are actually affecting people's spiritual energy. You are affecting how people think, how they control their emotions. And, well, a lot of people have not really practiced mastering the control of their emotions or their energy. Well, and your emotions are energy anyway. But, you know, and I'm like, in due time, I will, you know, reveal, you know, myself to such, you know, the people within the church. And, you know, the thing about it, I realize is, I'm not there to basically convince people that it's happening, because most people do know that it's happening, but a lot of people are, you know, they're preserving themselves. They're preserving themselves by trying to, you know, basically give up their autonomy so that, you know, they won't have to go through any suffering, any more suffering than what they're already going through. So I'm just like, all right, what in the world is going on over here? Yeah, they're filming a show over here called FBI. Alright, let me get back to y'all. Alright, yeah, so I had to pick up an extra load. I had to pick up 2 ropes, which means more money in my pocket. But, yeah, so, you know, it's like, I don't know, and the strangest thing was, I didn't go to church with my mom this time. I just showed up, by myself because, you know, she's kind of stressful when it comes to, like, trying to, like, she's a bit stressful. But anyway, so, funny thing is, I happened to run into one of my neighbor's mother, who, you know, my mother and I know since we first moved into our building in 2003. She no longer lives here, but you know, and she why is he sitting there? I can't, you know, taxis and cabs do the most. They do the most. Like, you know, I don't know, why not just pull more into the side or something? He's gonna sit right there. Anyway, you saw it. But so she sees me and I'm like, oh hey, how you doing? She's like, oh hi. And she comes and gives me a hug and a kiss on the cheek. Then she's like, oh, you smell good. And I'm like, thank you. And she's like, yeah, tell your mom I said hello. And then she's like, I was like, yeah, I'm on my way to go and meet her at church. She's like, you know, do they have any children there? Yeah. So she gives me this bag of clothes to donate for like little girls. So I'm like, okay, cool. And it's interesting because as I'm about to go down the steps because I'm trying to meet an Uber cab, right? I'm trying to meet an Uber. I overhear her tell her daughters, like, oh, he's so handsome and he smells really good. I was like, oh snap, okay. So in that instance, that made me feel good because she's like one of the few people who like known me before I started vocalizing my targeting, and she didn't show me no, like, I don't know if she knows about targeting or not, but she treated me just like how she would normally treat me. So that made me feel good, you know. Then that part, then so I get to the church, right? I get to the church and the first thing, I already missed the like the praise and worship, but I get there, the preacher's already preaching, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but I kid you not, it was almost like he. I mean, people say this about church all the time, but when you're in Target, it feels different. He goes, the enemy, when he said the enemy, something along the lines like the enemy will, they seek to destroy you or something. I forgot, but anyway, it mostly had something to do with the enemy will seek to destroy you, try to do all that they can. But when you have an anointing, when you have God's favor, there's nothing that the enemy can do, because when God has something for you, there's nothing that the enemy can do to take it from you. Basically something like that. And it was about like, I think most of the service was about, God will bring you through some painful, troubling times in order for you to truly have your breakthrough, and you're gonna have to go through some things, because when you're going through these things, it actually makes you stronger in the long run. So I was just like, it was just like amazing that I came across, I came at this exact moment in time. Let me see, I can make it. Look at the glass. I can make it. Ooh, I ran the light. Anyway, so I was just feeling, really good and taking in the sermon and everything. And when I get there, my mom, she's all happy and whatnot that her son is in church again, and she's like, everybody was asking about you, everybody wondering where your son at, da, da, da. He's so nice, da, da, da. And I'm like, yeah, I get that often. Because I don't toot my own horn or nothing, but I believe I'm a good guy, so I believe I'm a good, respectable person. I don't cause no problems for people. I don't do anything to no one. I literally just I just try to, I just try to protect my peace and then help other people understand the importance of protecting their peace, and then try to help people learn ways of protecting their peace. I'm all about peace. I don't really care to be getting into confrontations. I don't like having arguments with people. I'm gonna say my side and that's it. Like, I'm not trying to do no back and forth and whatnot, So, but yeah, like I said, while I was in the church, I put my cell phone in the Faraday bag, and it was really an experiment to see how much they would really try to do to attack me while I'm in church. And obviously they were successful. All it really did was just reduce. The effectiveness of the frequencies coming through the bag. It didn't stop it altogether. But anyway, what else? So yeah, after church, I met up with my girl. At first she said she wanted to go and do some dancing, but then after a while she realized she was too tired to want to do it. So we kind of just went and got something to eat from one place. And when we went to this one place, we went up to Harlem, right? Now, mind you, I'm already aware going into Harlem, knowing that the majority of the people that's, augmented and that's hating me is, I feel most of the negative feelings from, like Spanish, Black, maybe a couple of white people here and there, but it's always a lot more prevalent in people, of people of color, really. It's always more prevalent, and it's sad because I'm like, I'm no different from you. The only real difference is you didn't want to fight back. That's it. Like that's the only difference. You didn't want to fight back. You accepted the offer from Satan. You accepted the offer to basically you basically accepted somebody hacking your body and your brain without you ever knowing that they did it, and then going along with it because they probably told you, oh, we're gonna make you better, we're gonna provide you with more opportunities, we're gonna do all these things, we're gonna help you make more money. I'm like, I never cared if anybody wanted to do it. I don't care if people want to become bionic, ultra bionic, whatever the hell they want to become. I don't care. All I said was just leave me out of it. That's all I said was leave me out of it. They talking about something. They was trying to offer me an opportunity. All I had to do was become a police officer. I'm guessing if I would have became a cop, they would have just like, I don't know, heightened my vision, gave me like, they probably would have been, using their kind of like Sims like point of view to see where perpetrators are, or I guess the perpetrators that they don't like, because I mean, quite honestly, in this city, it's still ridiculous with crime out here, and it's the same type of crimes. And every time you look up, it's like these certain individuals have like rap sheets that's like 5 pages long, and somehow they still out and doing whatever. They get I don't know, whatever the case is. But I never really cared myself with what somebody was doing, as long as it wasn't being done to me or somebody that I cared about, or rather, if I was in the area, I most likely would want to step in, as long as it seems safe. Because if somebody pull a gun out, hey, that's where I draw the line. I ain't really trying to get shot. But with this whole gang stalking thing, it's kind of like one of those things where at some point, a lot of the people who are augmented, they most likely are people who probably own guns or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm my girl and I, we both are fully aware of our targeting. She's a bit more, what's the word? She's still relatively new to noticing a lot of the signs, but not just only noticing the signs of like, noise campaigns and subliminals and whatnot, but she still kind of like gives into it. She still gives them their attention to some degree. Like I noticed like at least 89% of, any gaslighting and whatnot, but I don't give it no real attention. I just notice it and I go, he's one. And then I just keep it moving, but as far as everything else, let me see, they are filming the show FBI. I was wondering if I'll be able to see Hilary Swank. But anyway, yeah, for the most part, I'm doing okay. Eventually, we ended up having a really good day. After we had left the spot, we had went and yeah, we noticed quite a few gang stalkers inside that spot too. But yeah, we came back to a place near my house, and you know, enjoyed ourselves. There she go, right there. There she go. All right, I'll talk to you later. All right, so you see how they just step out into the street like that? He ain't even look, and you see it's painted for a bike lane right here. Oh, man. I'm like, yo, you have no idea. I have no idea how often that happens. You know, someone just steps out into the bike lane. They don't look at all. They just step right into the bike lane. You know, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not gonna hold y'all any longer. I just wanted to let y'all know, yeah, they don't care if you in church, if you at a funeral, if you know, if you trying to pick up your kids from daycare or whatever, they don't care. They gonna get you where they can get you. And just letting people know that to really try to figure out how to like block and you know, mitigate, you know, some of these attacks, you really have to go like deep diving and understanding how electromagnetic field radiations work, and how what a energy vacuum is. You definitely want to learn what scalar interferometry is. I mean, for the most part, like, yeah, I'm glad that, you know, my girl, she finally started to, like, you know, listen in, you know, and like, you know, because I used to always tell her, like, I gave her access to my my Firefox, because my Firefox has all my bookmarks for any studies, any like articles about, you know, about nanotechnology, brain to brain interface, whole body interface, brain to computer interface. I got everything. I have everything basically bookmarked, so at any given moment I could just, like, you know, go into my Firefox, find whatever sources I need to find, and it's right there. What else? I mean, for the most part, I'm gonna just end it there. I'm starving right now. You know, a hot dog does sound good right now, but I'm like, I think I'm gonna just ride over to 7-Eleven. I'm gonna pass the 7-Eleven along the way. So, all right, everybody take care. Y'all know how I always say, take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.